Hello, Kwame here, your host for All Things Project Management. Today we'll be going through a very important topic that will help you to manage and organize your project right from the beginning to the end. Before I start, I have a question for you. How often do you and your team overlook key activities in your project because you or your team members do not have a structured way to organize those activities? Think about it and head to the comment section. Share with the audience how you manage your work based on work breakdown structure. Today we will go through a journey of that topic, work breakdown structure. How does it help you in order to be able to keep track and be successfully organize your project right from the beginning to the end? Before we delve into the actual work breakdown structure, I want us to pause for a second and take a look at few terminologies that will help you to be able to really organize and know what to do when it comes to developing or creating a work breakdown structure. Just take a look at the screen for a second. What is work breakdown structure, or WBS, look like? I would simply say it looks like an organizational chart, but with the project deliverables in sequential order of details. How you're going to execute your project from the bigger activities way down. So the time that you'll be able to assign it to your team to execute it. That is how I see or I look at work breakdown structure. How do you define it? I have a very simple definition here. It's a hierarchical structure. It looks like organizational chart. What it does for you is it breaks down or aggregate the project scope of work for ease of planning, estimating, scheduling, and controlling. So all that work breakdown structure will do for you is it will help you make it easy to plan your project, to estimate the costs of your project, or define a budget for your project, and then be able to organize activity from the start to end of whatever scope breakdown you did, and then you can control your project. So basically, the work breakdown structure is deliverable oriented. What does that mean? It focuses on project deliverables only. With that said, let's distinguish between what is deliverables and project activities. Simply tangible physical components or an output expected to have at the end of your project can be described as what? Deliverable. That is the end result of your project. And what are these activities we talk about here? They are multiple subtasks breakdown that is needed to be able to carry out your entire project completely. That is the distinction between deliverables and that of what the activities. Let's pause for a second and think about the reason, the purpose. Why do we even deal with or have to do with work breakdown structure? I have three key purposes for you. I know if you've handled a project, you're an assistant project manager, your student, you might have read a lot of it, but the key purpose I have here for you is it organizes the total scope of your project so as to make it easy to execute it. The second aspect of this is it will help you kind of whittle down or decompose a big complex project into parts that makes the project's input, processes, and output and easier to predict or determine or analyze what you need to do to manage the project from the beginning to the end. That is what I define as the purpose of work breakdown structure. And then the final thing I'll add to that is it is the only tool if you're working in the construction industry or most of the industries, manufacturing and so on and so forth, only tool that will help you easily relate to the status of your project, right? It will let you assign specific costs to these activities that are subtasks or tasks for your project. So with that said, we will look at a couple of examples that follow the process of work breakdown structure, and you can tailor-make that process for your project. So let's look at a couple of things that we need to see here. This is a typical example. If you're in the construction industry, this is your work breakdown structure right here. If you look at the top right corner of the screen, you realize you have a whole building sitting at the top. That is the complex, bigger project that you want to break it down so you can assign the components to specific team members or crew to be able to execute it. So for instance, work breakdown structure have 4 levels. As you can see here, the level 1 and 2 will depict the corporation or the company that you're working for, and then the project that you are about to execute will be your level 2. When you come to the level 3, I talked about the deliverables. So if you look at the line here from the level 3, it shows you if it is like a construction project, as you see here, you have all the concrete components of your project. You have the framing part, plumbing, electrical, interior work, and the roofing. These are your milestones, the deliverables that you're going to be looking up to do. So within that deliverables of, for instance, the concrete component, level 4 would detail what is it that subtask, the little task that you need to execute in order to accomplish all the concrete products or framing product in your project. So this is how you look at work breakdown structure. So I'll look at the big project, and then whatever organization you're working with is your level 1 big picture, and then whatever project decisions, activities, all the stuff you do to finish the project must be in line with your organizational goal. So your work breakdown is attached to that goal. For instance, let's go on to the next example of our work breakdown structure. So this is a book about risk management. So it follows the same process. The level 1 here will be your risk management book. What are the things you need to do with that book? And then your deliverable would be the highest level activity, manuscript, write the book, edit the book, and publish the book. Under that, we have the small task, which is the subtask, which is activities under the deliverables that you need to go through to be able to write a book, things that you need to do that, right? Again, you look at it down here, it's another software development project. So it follows the same concept. It doesn't matter which organization that you represent or which project that you're doing. You follow work breakdown structure, as you can see from the screen. There's one important thing that I need to talk to you about. It's about the numbers you see here. Because you see from this point, you can see the numbers, which is 1.1 before the manuscript, 1.2 before the right book. You go back, you have 1.1 for your house building project, and then under the concrete, the deliverables, you have 1.11, 1.12 for framing and all that. What that gives you is the cost code. So if you relate back to your accounting, you realize that you can assign those code for the cost purposes, right? Let me go back to that. Yeah, so you can assign those code. So before we end, I will talk about the work breakdown structure and what it gives you. I've discussed about that. It helps you organize your project from beginning to the end, and you can track it stage by stage in order to accomplish your project. And then it will help you find every detail component that you need in your project. So with that said, thank you very much. I'll say please go on to the comment section and share with us how you go about organize your work breakdown structure to accomplish your project. I will talk about the cost code associated with the activities in the next discussion, which is going to be the cost of your project. Thank you very much, and I appreciate your time. Thank you. Thank you once again for your time. I appreciate it. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you. Thank you.